Different day, different hat, same devastatingly good looks. Welcome to part 2 of this retrospective on the interviews we did last year. We thought the interviews were so good we would bring you back a little reminder in case you missed those videos. But last week I teased you that the Rapido Sterling single is on its way. It was, and here's a little look. More on that later, but first let's hear a little bit more from Bachmann and Richard Proudman.
Hello, I'm Richard Proudman, Rail Brand Manager for Bachmann Europe. Yeah, certainly 009, which we started about a decade ago. Our first announcements were made in 2014 for 009. And since we brought those products to market, there's been a lot of demand for more models, so we've gone on and made more locomotives, more coaches, wagons, and we do the Sinatra models to complement them. And I think you can see with the developments from people like Pico, they've gone on to do more track types, more track versions, and expand their range. So clearly they're seeing demand for the parts that are needed to build a layout. So it's not just people collecting the models, they're actually making new layouts, building on new projects and adding to their own layouts maybe. And then this year we obviously released the NG7 models, starting off with the range of the Quarry Hunsets and the complementary wagons and Sinatra models. And they've had a good reception so far. It's a bit early to say exactly how that will pan out, but we're quite happy with how people have responded to that news. Obviously there wasn't a lot of time for people to think about starting up that scale from our announcement to the release of the models, whereas with 009 there was a several year period between announcement and the models hitting the shelves. So I think it will take a little bit longer for the full picture of NG7 to come clear to us. But if people like yourselves are seeing more interest in sales of your own products, then clearly people are engaging in that scale, so that's great news for everyone.
It's almost like someone flicked a switch.
Okay.
And the 7mm narrow gauge, it's like people just waiting to jump on it. And also a lot of people with 009 are doing crossovers with 009 and 00 layouts where they have the two together.
The beauty of it is you don't have to start a new layout. You can add to a 00 layout, or with NG7 you can add to a 7mm layout. So you don't have to necessarily start a new project, which is a nice way to try something new without ripping everything up that you've already got.
You've got a free outlet if you like. So is there anything you would like to put out there, and anything you'd like to point out or bring out?
Well, we just remind people that we do our quarterly announcements, the British Railway announcements. It's the one-stop shop to see all of our new products and get the details that people want, such as prices, availability, and specific livery or variant details. All of that information goes straight onto our website as well, so if you're ever wondering, I wonder if that's got certain head codes or what the run number is for that, all that information is on our website. So tune into the British Railway announcements. The next one's the 6th of November, and then we'll have lots more goodies to share with you all in the coming months and years.
As well as Bachmann and Hornby, we also got an interview with Neil Morrill of Dapol. Here's what he had to say.
Hi, my name's Neil Morrill. I'm the marketing manager at Dapol Model Railways.
And if you could explain how come Dapol here and the involvement with the club.
Okay, well, Dapol and Alsager Model Railway Club have had quite a close link for many years. I've been with the company 8 years, and we were coming here before I started. We've got a reciprocal agreement. That they do a bit for us, we do a bit for them by coming along and flying the flag, providing a little bit of sponsorship through some raffle prizes for them, that sort of thing.
And how many shows do you do? Other shows around the country, and how do you choose which ones you do?
We do other shows around the country. However, we have dialed that back a little bit. We're all getting that much older, and Monday morning when you're back in the office at 7:30, it's getting harder. So personally, I prefer doing smaller shows. You have a greater ability to talk with people, explain where you're up to, what you're doing, why you're doing it. If you do the really big shows, it's just full on, and you don't get to necessarily have that level of communication with people.
And recently there's been a lot of new development, new models released, and I did a review myself at the Hawthorne Leslie, lovely little loco, and there's been a few others recently announced, hasn't there?
Yeah, well, there's the long-standing 3MT, which is on the water at the moment, so that'll be here in weeks. J94s are going to be out soon, probably not this side of Christmas, but next side. They'll be sailing very shortly. At Tings we announced a variety of models, including the J72 and the Engage Manor. The Battle of Britain and the Class 66 were both updated in Engage. They're coming along nicely at EP stage. We've had decorated samples of Sentinels, J94s. There's a whole hit raft of stuff coming in the hopefully not too distant future.
And what are the areas of growth that Dapol have spot? You know, that you, in terms of the eras, the era,
I think the transition period is still very popular. It's what I would model, but people model what they saw as a child, as a general rule. So, sadly, time passes on, doesn't it? And people are getting young. Modelers and people are getting younger in the hobby, or younger people are coming through to take that I can buy models sort of stage of life. So, BR Blue. You're getting more and more modern image coming along, so we have to look at different products that we want to try and produce.
Yeah, that's the difficulty, isn't it? Trying to predict what people are going to want.
Well, we do have some sort of core rules that we stick by. How long did a model, or how long was the prototype around for? It's how widely distributed was it geographically? How many liveries was it in? How many owners, for want of a better word, did the locomotive have? How much in the way of legs has a model got? Obviously there was 2 of them and they were never left anywhere. As a mainstream manufacturer, we're not going to look at that. But if you've got a good half dozen, a dozen liveries, and it went on for 20, 40, 60 years, whatever, then even better.
And you were mentioning the local produce as well.
Dapol, obviously, like other manufacturers, does produce a portion of what it does in the Far East. All our locomotives are manufactured there, certainly for the meantime. We have a 40-year-long history where we've manufactured in the UK at various sites. We've been at the site in Chirk for getting on for 20 years now, I think. We continually invest in both the people we have there and also equipment that makes us competitive. We've got, I think it's a 19-axis CNC sliding lathe, and that works 24/7. It's only ever planned to be off 2 days of the year, 2 weeks of the year, which is over Christmas. We've got new technology when it comes to printing. We're doing laser cutting, we're doing 3D printing, all in-house. We've started doing CAD work in-house, so we're quite determined to carry on pushing forward with UK manufacture.
And you've now got an open platform. Anything that you would like to put out there?
Just ask modelers to support ourselves and other manufacturers. Support your local or preferred model shops. If you don't use them, you're going to lose them. That's about it, really.
Yes, I feel that we
Billy says, please like and subscribe. Thank you.
One of my heroes, if you follow his background and all that he's achieved, is Pete Waterman, and he's been a big flag waver for the industry. Towards the end of the year, I went down to Making Tracks and I got an interview with him. There's more on the Making Tracks video, which you will be able to see in the description, a link to, but here's some highlights from the Pete Waterman interview. Right, Peter, thank you ever so much for talking to us.
Pleasure.
I'll take you back a little bit to the beginning of your railway journey, because it didn't just start with, you know, some people think our celebrities but your railway journey started before
1948.
Yeah.
So I was born next to a railway line. At the end of the war, when there was a coal shortage, because I was born in the worst winter for 100 years, and so the colliery was on the line by my house. So obviously, throughout January, the coal trains were going up and down 24 hours a day. So I presume that's what got me into it. I don't know, but I mean, I must have been indoctrinated with the sound of Super D's, because that's what there was on the line. But I've never been without it ever since. So my dad, we lived with my granddad, and they went to see Coventry City play Northampton Town on December, the Christmas Eve, as it was in those days. And the bus stopped outside Bassett Loke, so he bought me a train set for Christmas, my granddad.
Yeah.
It was only a clockwork wine or went around that. I've never been without one since.
And fast forward, brilliant music career with a couple of hits.
Yeah, but throughout I still had a model railway. So my office and the studios, I had 8 studios, at Manchester and London. They all had model railways in them. That was part, so that I could, if it was too intense, I could break off and just have a relief from that. Also, it was a talking point with a lot of artists where you could literally just talk something other than music.
Yeah.
So it's been there, and then I when we did Pop Idol was so,
it looked quite intense,
but it was so, the impact was on television was so immense. It was like an earthquake.
Yeah.
Obviously it became the world's biggest television format, and so I'd done lots of television by then through the Hitman and Her.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Simon hadn't done television, but he'd worked with me on the Hitman and Her. So if I needed an act and I couldn't find one for a Saturday night, Simon would find me one. It sort of catapulted me into realising that there was the same stigma of railways that there was about certain types of music.
Yes, absolutely.
Television didn't look at the public and say, would you watch a programme on model railways? It went, people think of model railways as nerds. You should say, yes, I'm sad.
Yeah.
And be proud of it, which is what I've always done.
Oh,
when people are going, I'm a nerd, yes, I'm a nerd, but I'm a super nerd. Don't think I'm a nerd.
I'm a successful nerd, thank you.
No, I'm a super nerd. If it's like, I remember in the old days, going back, when the railway modeller used to put average on the front. For the average modeller, I always said to them, I don't want to be an average modeller.
Yeah.
So I won't buy your magazine
Yeah.
because it's got the word average. I'm not average. I want to be special.
Yeah. Recent times, they've always been enthusiasts. You've got Frank Sinatra, you've got Joe Brown was a railway enthusiast. You've got lots of musicians. Is there a correlation in the arts?
Yeah, intense.
Do you think?
Intensity.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you're into music, you've got to be into the notes, the way it works, the cadences, the combinations, the way it rises and falls. It's the same with railways.
Yeah.
It's exactly, if you're not into the detail, you're not into railways.
Yeah.
Because it's about timetables, it's about structures, it's about different classes of locomotives, what will pull this, what wouldn't pull that, the incline here. If you're not into detail, you are not into railways. In other words, if you're not a nerd, you're not a railway enthusiast.
I mean, for me, I always say to people, if you come to a railway exhibition, even if you're not into trains, look at the scenery, the detail that someone's put into it, because there you've got a sculpture, you've got a...
It's art.
And it's moving.
No, it's art.
Yeah.
It's art. It's like, that's what we did with Jools Holland. We said, he said, this is like my brains poured out in 3D. And it is art because we have to paint, and it's sculpture.
It is.
So yeah. But if you call yourself an artist, so this is the whole argument with Rod Stewart. If Rod Stewart would have been a painter, he would have been a very famous painter now.
Yes.
The fact that he's probably one of the best modelers in the world, he's having to hide himself.
Incredible.
He's having to sort of hide behind. It's took him ages to admit that he's a model railway modeller. Yeah, his modelling is staggering.
It is. It's absolutely
staggering.
incredible.
Yeah, if he was a sculptor, he'd be really famous.
We promised you Sterling single, and here is the Sterling single. Now, we haven't really run it because we don't have a huge amount in stock. It's a beautiful thing, beautifully detailed. Take a look at these photos as they come up. And most impressive of all is the amount of metal in this, and it is really a lovely, lovely locomotive. The only thing I'm really upset with myself about is that I didn't order one for myself. Never mind. Anyway, we'll try and bring you some more on the Sterling, and also on some of our other activities in the next video. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've watched this far. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen, and it really helps us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but every time we get a subscription, it helps us towards monetization, which actually helps us to buy new equipment to make better videos. So we really do appreciate it, and it brings you into our little community.